Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Labor Day edition of That Handicapping Show. I'm Tom Lamar, joined again by Pete Dank. We're looking at the Woodward Stakes this weekend at Saratoga. The race will be run on Saturday, a mile and an eighth, Grade 1. We have a field of 7. I would say a lot of the usual suspects have shown up in this race. This is a classic division race, and I would think we have a couple in here that should end up in the Breeders' Cup Classic if all goes well. Interesting race. There is speed. There's a lot of tactical speed, and there's a couple horses who like to come from out of it. Pete and I were talking earlier. We're not really excited about this one. You know, these horses, for me anyway, are all starting to look the same. I'm going to use 3 horses. And but I'm going to let Pete start here with like how the pace may go and who you may end up betting.
Yeah, you mentioned there's a lot.
End up betting.
You mentioned there's a lot of speed in this race, and there is a fair amount. You got Rule from the Rail. We've got Mucho Macho Man, and then outside of him, Trickmeister and To Honor and Serve. All these horses have a good amount of speed. It's only a 7-horse field, and I figure at least a couple of those are going to have to be ridden to the front. Mucho Macho Man's not a horse that really wants to be too far back. You know, he's a tall horse. Saratoga is a little bit of a tight turn speed track. I don't think he's going to want to be too far back. You know, there's a few horses in this race that have kind of been butting their heads up against the wall at this level. You know, Rule, it's hard to make the case for him. Trickmeister, the same thing. So I think the betting is going to really focus on a few of these. Mucho Macho Man's going to be a strong favorite, even money 6-5 maybe. For the To Honor and Serve fans out there, if there's any of those left, I don't know how many people have jumped off that bandwagon.
I'm hanging in. I'm hanging in for this race.
Yeah. Well, you're going to get.
Continue. Go ahead.
He won't be the favorite for the first time since
quite a while.
Since the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Yes, that's correct.
So, you know, I could see getting back on him. Bill Mott has said that he thought the horse just wasn't himself in his last race. But back to Mucho Macho Man, his win in the Suburban was arguably, if not the best, one of the best performances we've seen this year in the handicap division. So he'll be bet hard, rightfully so. A little bit of a layoff since that race. The trainer said that's how she likes to run this horse. Well, some mixed reports on his workouts since the Suburban. I don't think he went back. He didn't have a published workout for a little over a month after the race. He worked up to a pretty fast work, and then his last work before the race received a really poor write-up on the internet by some people. So if there are certainly reasons to go against him if you want to, with all the speed around him. An interesting horse here to me is Cease. He drew on the outside. He's one of 2 in here who really like Saratoga. Cease is 3 for 3 at Saratoga. Stay Thirsty is 3 of 4. Both of those horses are going to be coming off the pace. Cease is certainly not proven at the Grade 1 level. You know, at this point, what would you rank him? Probably a Grade 3 horse. You know,
at this point, I would.
Yeah.
But I think the circumstances may play to his advantage in this race, and I don't think it'll be a big price, quite frankly. And I think he can pick up the pieces. Obviously, his figs are lower than most in this race, but he is 3 for 3 at Saratoga. He likes the mile and an eighth, and I could see him crashing the ticket here.
Yeah, and they dropped him down to a non-winners of 3 in his last at Saratoga, going a mile and an eighth, and I like confidence-building races like that. He got to pass a bunch of horses. He still had something at the wire. So I think he's playable in here. Stay Thirsty is winless against older horses. He's got some great races on his resume. He's also tend to shrink at some big moments too. You know, but he won the Travers last year. He won the Jim Dandy. He's got some good figures. He makes sense if he can run back to those tops. I have a little bit of a trust issue with him, so I think I'm looking at using Cease underneath To Honor and Serve and Mucho Macho Man.
Okay.
And maybe a small win bet on Cease if he were a big price. But like you said, it's a 7-horse field.
Yeah.
We probably don't get 10 to 1 on him, you know, and that's what I'd really like to play a horse like that in this spot.
Yeah. I've got the same 3 horses. I'm going to put 2 honor and serve on top for win betting purposes. I think the price may be roughly 2-1, which is not bad for a horse like that. John Velasquez rides, hasn't ridden him since last August at Saratoga. Replaces Lescano. Pletcher has 2 horses in the race. Velasquez is not riding either one. I've used that angle before. I don't know what it means, but I've used it. Ramon Dominguez is riding Rule. He's off of Trickmeister. So I'm going to go with 2 honor and serve, Cease, and Mucho Macho Man. Again, 2 honor and serve, I think, really just ran a dull race last time. Cease is on the improve. Mucho Macho Man ran lights out. I do think he may prefer 1 turn, but we'll see. So that is the the Woodward at Saratoga. Long week, folks, long week.
You need a Woodford.
I need a Woodford for the Woodward. We'll see you next time on that handicapping show. For Pete, I'm Tom. Again, we thank Briss for the PPs, and be sure to check out Pete's locksmith picks at bloodhorse.com for Saturday. Have a great weekend.